Are you new to project management and wondering what are the phases to project? Well, I'm going to share with you the 5 fundamental phases that all of us who are project managers use. I've been a project manager for many years, more than I can count, and there are very specific phases that you go through when it comes to project management. I'm going to share with you what those phases are so that you can be successful in your projects. Okay, there are 5 phases to project, and the first phase that we're going to talk about is initiation phase. You probably got a knock on the door from some senior management individual saying, "Hey, you, congratulations, we think you're awesome and you're going to run a project." Woohoo! Celebrate, by the way. That's a pretty amazing accomplishment to have been chosen to manage a project. Now, the key with initiation phase is you need to get all of the details about the project before you can even start it. So this is where you want to sit down with what we call the sponsor, the person who's initiating and supporting the project, usually a senior executive, and find out what's the scope statement, what expectations do you have around timelines, is there anything specific I need to know, like business justification, who do you think needs to be in the project? And so you want to get all of this information. So it's called the initiation stage so that you can really start planning your project. All right, project phase number 2, and it's planning phase. So what's really cool about this is you've just gotten all the key information from initiation stage, from your sponsor, and now you want to put it into a really cool document that's going to kind of summarize everything, and we call that the charter. So in the charter, you can have more detailed information around the scope statement, ins and outs. You want some business justification as to why you're doing this project, high-level timelines, responsibilities, everything that you need to set your team up for success. Now, the cool thing is you're going to do this on your own, maybe pull out some information from subject matter experts, but then you're going to call a kickoff meeting. And that kickoff meeting is with all your project team members, and you're literally going to give them this package. Hey, here's a charter and everything you need to start the project off running after we end this meeting. Yay! It's a really great way to ensure that everything is prepped, ready to rock and roll, and that's called planning stage. Project phase number 3 is execution. So it's interesting because planning and execution kind of overlap. And what I mean by that is in the planning stage, you have gotten some high-level tasks, but in the execution, you're actually even getting more. You're kind of doing the fine-tooth comb through everything. And now your team members are up and ready and running, and you're now getting all the fine details that you didn't have. And you're also in the process of executing things. So things are coming up to the surface that perhaps you didn't think about. All good. It's all part of project management. And it's cool because you have documents anyway. They're live. You're supposed to update them. But this execution stage is now everything is humming. You got the details. People are now putting crossing the T's, dotting the I's on all the information that you have, and you're off and running and moving towards your end goal. All right, the 4th stage is monitor and control. I consider this, I call it the easy stage. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not like there is an easy stage in everything, but if you've done your due diligence and you've done everything you need to do in all your other stages, then execution and monitoring, things are humming along. You're just doing tweaks and ensuring things are on track. Now, the big thing here is you want to take a look at changes. So you want to put in some sort of change control, maybe take a look at risks a little more deeply here, but you're just making sure that your team is successful and you're monitoring and controlling things and ensuring that time, scope, and budget are being adhered to. Okay, stage 5, closing the project. This is where you've done all your due diligence and the project is ending. So what are some of the things that you have to be aware of? Well, you got to make sure that the business unit owner or the person who's actually getting the deliverable that you had from this project is happy with all the requirements. So you got to go through that. You also perhaps want to do a little bit of an after action review. How did everything work so that you can have these learnings and turn those learnings into actionable steps for your next project? And last but not least, don't forget that celebration. Everyone's worked really hard. You probably have some great team dynamics as well, and you want to end everything on a positive note.